Hi, everybody. Holly here. In the segment that I have playing immediately after this intro, it's a snippet from a podcast that I was invited to be on, the Positive Head podcast, with my dear friend and colleague, Erica Middlemiss. Erica is another level 3 QHHT practitioner, and her partner Brandon do this amazing podcast, Positive Head. Highly, highly recommend, and links below on how to get to that podcast. But in my episode with Erica that I'm getting ready to share with you, we happen to get into this little conversation about bad habits. And we have both of us have a lot of clients that we've seen over the years that are coming in for hypnosis or other kinds of healthcare around changing bad habits. It could be smoking or drinking or eating or whatever kind of bad habits that we think we might have for our bodies. So listen into this as Eric and I are chatting about what we've collectively found from the higher self when it comes to bad habits. Enjoy. Wow. This is remarkable.
Wow, it really is.
Yeah.
What I love is that none of these people know each other. They don't
No.
know what the other person said.
Yeah.
They're just having their own session and saying the very first
Yeah.
thing that comes to mind and having the communication with their own higher self, and that's what comes out.
Yeah. And you probably do this too in your sessions, in that, like you're going through the list of questions, right? And here's what goes through my mind. I don't, of course I've got poker face on, but it's like, oh yeah, I know what this answer. Oh, I can't wait for them to get into this one. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, this will be interesting,
All the time. Like, can't wait to see what they're gonna say about this one. Yeah.
Here we go again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite thing too is when consciously in the interview that they're feeling one way and then their higher self tells them something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens all the time. And that's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah, here's one of those examples. Okay. I don't even know if I should share this because it might it might make some people really, really happy. But people come in to quit smoking or drinking or whatever habit, some bad habit. Okay. And so first question, we're talking to the higher self. So, Mary has this habit of smoking cigarettes. What advice would you have for her? And invariably, I would say probably about half the time, the higher self is like, well, we don't care. She can do it if she wants.
Yeah. It happens a lot. It does.
Like, wait, she came here. Like, that was the point of the whole session, was to quit smoking. And here you are telling her that you don't care, from a higher level. It doesn't matter.
Sure. Like, it's not hurting them. They use it for grounding. Right. Like, there's so many reasons. Yeah. Yeah. And if it is hurting them, then that's the answer that they get. But it's
and the other half of the time it is, she's using that as a crutch because she needs to be doing X, Y, or Z or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it that it's not just one way or another. Good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I just had a client just a couple of weeks ago that for vaping, which is basically the same thing. She wanted to quit vaping. And the higher self, is like, well, we don't care. It's not hurting her. She can do it or she can't. And then they said, because now she was is a very young woman in her 20s. And now every time she does it, every time she vapes, like there's this layer of like guilt or shame or whatever on top of it. And what the higher self said is what we really want her to do is just enjoy it when she does it. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said this, Holly, because this is such an immense point, whether we're talking about substances like tobacco or whether we're talking about the foods that we eat. The point is enjoying it.
Right.
If you're eating the right quote unquote diet that you're supposed to eat, but you hate it and you just like can't handle scarfing it down, then you shouldn't be doing that because it's energetically it's just a disturbance to you.
And she was so cute. I mean, I think she's like 21 or 22. Her mom came to pick her up. Okay. And her mom comes in and she's got this ear to ear grin and she's like, I can keep vaping and I can enjoy it.
Sure, mom was so excited about that. Yeah. Thanks, Holly. That's
And
why
his
I
mom
brought
was
her, right?
paying the bill too, and I'm like,
Of course.
"Oh, God."
Well, hey, you know what? What's important, right? That we're happy and enjoying life. It's interesting that you bring this up because this has come up a few times synchronistically in the last couple days that I've had this conversation. And I had a patient years ago when I was still working in the medical field, and he had had a heart attack. And I was seeing him maybe once every 3 weeks. And he had this heart attack, and he was this Arizona cowboy. You know, he loved his cigarettes and he loved his scotch and he loved his beer. And leave him alone. You know, he just, that's what he enjoyed, like to sit on his porch, and that's what he liked to do. And he found enjoyment in that. Well, after his heart attack, you know, his entire family wouldn't let him do any of those things. So it was all
Uh,
taken away from him, and he was miserable.
yeah,
And every
yeah.
time I saw him, it was like week after week, he looked just pale, miserable,
Mhm.
gray. And I was like, "Oh man, what's the matter?" And he's like, you know, telling me that they took all of his fun stuff away.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the next time I saw him a few weeks later, he comes in, it's all pink, chipper, walking in, you know, so excited. And I'm like, "What's up with you? You started smoking again?" "Damn straight I did." You know, like you can obviously tell he's enjoying his life again. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not what caused his heart attack.
yeah. Whatever you do, just enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.